hear me? It's great to be there in Athens. Obviously, I'm not there. I really wanted to be there, so hopefully there will be another chance. But nevertheless, at least this is the way we are together. I know the share events are always very nice. I really like attending them. So thank you, Florin, for the event. Thank you, Ella, for the introduction, and hello to everybody else. And not to lose time, probably I should just begin with my lecture. So let me see if this... Okay, so let me start my lecture with a couple of slides of our projects. I won't go deep into explaining the projects, but this couple of slides should give you the idea of our work. What I would like to speak about at this point is our approach when designing architecture. First of all, we like systems. We like natural systems, to be exact. So what does this mean? It means that we are pretty overwhelmed by nature. And nature is packed with systems we can use when designing buildings. By observing these natural systems, we have figured out that behind what appears very complex in nature often lies very simple algorithm. But you should know that when I speak of natural systems, I don't necessarily speak about systems that you can only find in natural environment. Such self-organized systems are everywhere around us. You can, of course, find them in nature, but also in crowds, in movement, and social organizational patterns. You can even easily find them, and this is, for me, one of the most interesting parts, in man-made, self-organized, ancient or modern dwellings. So, what they all have in common is that they are highly adaptive and ready to embrace irregularities. And what does this mean again? This means that even though the systems are very coherent, every element of the systems is unique and relates to the surrounding in a very natural way. So, paradoxically, now with the widespread use of modern technologies, we are finally able to control that seemingly chaotic systems. And we can incorporate them in our projects, which of course opens up a number of possibilities. And another great thing about such approach is that we can let ourselves be surprised by stepping into unknown territory. I usually say that we can learn to appreciate error as nature does. So, because one could namely argue that everything beautiful in nature is the result of an error. So we in our office, we use one very simple trick to let ourselves be surprised. Whenever we start new projects, we approach it from two different angles. So we try to develop a perfect functional scheme on one hand and the perfect placement on the site on the other. Then we try to develop each of those concepts separately as long as we can, because normally we don't have so much time, but you know how it is with our work. But we try to develop it as long as we can separately. And finally, when we come close to both solutions, we try to overlap them. And as you can imagine, nothing fits. So then we observe very carefully, and we try to figure out where is the bigger difference in both concepts. And you could say that we are searching for the biggest error. And then we take this error as our starting point, and we start from there again. So in that way, we believe that we avoid using some preconceived ideas over and over again, and we often push ourselves to a territory that we probably wouldn't find otherwise. So after this a bit philosophical introduction, let me go to more concrete thing, and this is first project that I would like to present to you today. This is namely Thermalia Family Wellness. As a name applies, it is a wellness that is designed mostly to cater the families. But before I explain to you this project, I should give you some background of how this project came to be. So this is namely the result. We have been working on this site for some time. This is namely the fourth building we designed here on the same site in last 15 years. And those are the three previous ones. And as you can imagine, at least in my opinion, this is kind of the hardest task an architect can have. You know, you're going to the same site over and over and over again, and you have to develop a new buildings. But of course, you have change in between. But somehow you can change your approach to the site. So you have to be composed, be calm, keep your cool in all these 15 years and try not to go over the edge with the new intervention, especially because when we design each of those buildings, we never knew the next one is coming. We always believe this one is the last one, and then we stop here. So this was the site before our first intervention. It is a classical hospitality wellness resort, 2 hotels by the forest, 1 big swimming pool, outdoor swimming pool, and some apartment village here on the left. And first building we did back in 2004 was basically more or less technical expansion of existing pool facility because they needed some additional surface, and most of all, they wanted some connection between the winter covering of outdoor swimming pool. So basically, maybe for you in Greece, this is not so common, but we have very cold winters here. So basically every winter they cover the pool and then they open it up in spring, but they want to use it all year round. So this was kind of the solution to get this covering. The problem, of course, was that this winter covering never went down throughout the summer. So basically we were just lacking space. But nevertheless, we didn't want to intervene into existing surrounding of the resort. So we placed the building on the edge of the resort. Basically, we replaced the fence that was used usually, that was here before the first intervention. And we even replaced the ground we took with the green roof on the top of the building. So this roof can now be used by the visitors, and they have this feeling that when they are on top of the roof, somehow their view is continuous to the surrounding landscape. It's kind of like infinity pool, but this one, in this case, with grass. So then became the transformation, because this was classical health resort, and now they wanted to transform themselves into something more touristically. So they wanted to build a new hotel for the they called it the Manding clients, Italians in Slovenian case. So this is the new hotels we designed in 2006. And it was placed between 2 existing hotels on the edge of the forest. So basically, the hotel is pretty big. It has some 13,000 square meters, and we didn't want to completely disconnect the connection between the resort and the forest behind. So we took advantage of a slope. We cut the hotel in many stripes and we spread them down the slope. So even though the hotel is 5 stories high, you never perceive it's more than 2 stories high building, and somehow it intertwines with the surroundings. So this is one of the inner atriums. Because the building is deep, we have to bring the light in. And this is the idea of the facade, because somehow the tree trunks on the facade, now they aged, they intertwined with the tree trunks of the forest behind. So now this new guest came and they wanted a new spa facility. So of course they decided to indulge them, and they chose the last possible site in the resort to erect some 10,000 square meter spa facility. So we said to these ones, how can we do that? We already erected 2 buildings, and if you build such a big building here, we will lose anything we worked on before, and all of our work will be in vain. So at this point, we decided, okay, this shouldn't be a building. It should be more like a landscape arrangement. So this is the final result. I'm showing always the drawings because it's impossible to make a picture of it, because it's simply too big, because it's stretched over the entire available area. Because by stretching it over entire area, we basically solve some other problems, some giving pedestrians advantage over traffic. But most of all, we wanted to somehow prevent the investor to build some new buildings here again in the future. So this is the final result. The building pretty straightforward, just 5 dividing walls separating different levels of the terrain. This is one of the walls, how it is on site in person. This is a view on this wall from one of the new squares we created. So when you go over the building to the other side, you hardly see a building anymore, and when you are on top of the building, you really don't perceive it as a building anymore. Inside, of course, is a different story, because inside you don't want to have this feeling that you are buried under the ground, but you have to be well-lit places, all bright, open to the inside. So this is the inside of the building. And this now finally brings me to the project I want to present on this site. So this is the last addition to this site we did. And what separates this addition from the others is that actually we provoked this building ourselves. Because we were working for so long on this site, we somehow wanted to complete the transformation into some cohesive resort. So this is the site after all the interventions. And of course, we pinpointed this location, because as I told you at the beginning, this is the location of winter covering of outdoor swimming pool, which actually was never brought down. So it was staying there all the time. So when we started thinking about the project, the first thought was pretty simple. You know, we already erected 2 buildings with green roofs here on each side. So the obvious choice was just to connect this new ground floor, and we create new ground floor 1 level higher than it used to be in the resort. The other was a bit more tricky because on the right you have the old building, on the left you have the proposed new building, and as it has to serve as a proper building in winter, in summer it has to be more like a sunshade, so it has to open as much as possible that we don't lose this valuable space. So this is our proposition from schematic propositions from above, and as you can see, this building is pretty large. You probably noticed that previous projects became more and more underground, but this one we just simply couldn't bury underground as you would expect because it was too big and we didn't have the height anymore. And we end up placing this pretty large structure, some 75 by 40 meters roof, into the surrounding, which is mainly rural, you can see on the model maybe behind. So we found a solution into breaking this huge roof into a number of smaller roofs and somehow bring them closer to the scale of the rural architecture you see here in the background. So I think this image kind of give you the idea of our approach when designing this building. So just make another group of smaller objects like it is common for the area. This is the drawing of the roof, and of course the design of the roof itself, it's not only there for visual purposes, but we took advantage then of this pretty geometrical roof, and we looked at its construction capabilities, and basically we ended up with covering of this wide span of outdoor space virtually without any support. So this is the roof now as you see it. When you approach the building over the previous building. To give you the size, maybe you still see some workers here working on the roof, so this should give you the idea of the size of the building. So access path from one side, connection of the building to the square to the other side. So all this new topography completing the interventions in this area. So you see 3 different levels because we have normal spa level below, we have saunas, you must read naked people here in between, and then you have normal strollers on top of the building. They don't see each other, they mix on section and they don't interrupt each other. So this is the system we end up using for completely opening the window. So this all facade gets open, so basically you can walk freely throughout the entire place. And when you move inside, this image somewhat changes because if we make this big roof look like many smaller roofs from the outside, from the inside, it is just one new ceiling, one new dome covering the outdoor space. So you see the geometry that helps us carry this big span virtually without any support. As I told you, this is a family resort, so some playgrounds we designed for the resort, and as we are architects, to quickly browse to the plans. So ground floor with outdoor plaza, same materials inside and outside. So we have this upper floor, which is basically buried underground with toddlers area, big sauna area, some resting places area, and the roof itself, as I told you, with a span of approximately 75 by 40. So to recapitulate, one large roof hovering about the outdoor plaza, design of the inner pool and outer pool are the same, so same plants, same material, same water, so you lose the feeling when you are inside the building or outside the building. And of course, there are many other places in the building. I didn't show, this is, for example, the toddlers area I mentioned, when this big roof transformed into a smaller roof, more cozy element, and give you a bit more privacy as you need with toddlers area. In the night, it becomes introverted, so instead of looking out, you see the roof and the water. And I like this image because it kind of shows everything at one spot. So small roof, big roof, introverted place, outdoor, indoor, so everything mixed together. So this brings me to other projects I would like to present to you today, which is basically a city park. We finished last year, I believe. It is in the coastal town of Koper in Slovenia. So you see now 2 main coastal towns. We have 3 coastal towns, Piran, Izola, Koper. Koper is on the right side. for you in Greece, this would be like a laughing material, but we in Slovenia, we have 40 kilometers of coast, which basically means we have 20 centimeters of coast per each person. So we are not very rich with seaside, but we try to take advantage of it. Anyway, this small square there, as maybe you can see, this is our site. So if we zoom in, we have this old copper, old town of Koper, and then we have this new suburbia, and this line shows the former entrance to this medieval part. So it used to be an island. This was the entrance, and our site is exactly where the gate to the city used to be. So this middle portion of this axis, this is our new site. So it was island, water all around, but gradually it became first the salt ponds, so they started to produce salts all around. Then now it became recreational, industrial, every zone that you need. So basically they took advantage of this land in between the island and the common ground to put the elements they don't have. And this is where we have to produce our project. And they wanted to have a city park. So we showed them a picture of the most iconic city park in the world on the left. And we start explaining them that you should also have a city beach, because at some point this will be a beach. It's not there yet because the water just used to be cleaned, but we show them also the most iconic beach in the world. So this is our site. You can see it here in the middle. Our park is in the lower right corner, and this part on above is still a parking ground, which is about to transform now. This is the view of our intervention from the other side. You see the first portion was transformed into some sport facilities, not our project, and this in-between part is our project here. So basically what we ended up doing, we took this empty patch of land and we divided it into some smaller segments in order to enable people to find their way how to exploit this park. Basically, we didn't try to say everything up front. We just try to make some infrastructural part that people can now try to enjoy and explore. So this is the final layout of the park. Looks a bit complex maybe, but if you look at it with different eyes, it's quite simple. It's just one continuous loop, creating all these different places together. So we have big amphitheater for events, we have tree library under the trees, we have a bar area, we have a small lake area, we have a water fountain area, we have some running tracks for kids, everything like this. And of course, then we have to build this stuff. So this maybe shows this natural systems approach that I started at the beginning. So basically what we have to do is have to develop this in many different portions. And we transform this into a number, millions of small points in order to give them to the construction company. And these small points then changed into the millions of sections. And with these sections, we somehow were able to build this chaotic landscape, so to speak. So this is the final result. Those are the winter images because it opened up in the winter. As you can see, it's just a lot of concrete, undulating urban elements, some designed as stands, some designed as water cascade, some designed as shelter. And basically what we are introducing a different elements that people then decide to choose how they will use. I'm pretty happy to say that it was really well accepted by the local and also by the tourists. So we believe that we achieved our goal. It's already working as a park, but will it ever work as a beach? It remains to see. So therefore, I want to show you some additional images because it will be a beach at some point, but it's not yet because water at the front of it is not cleared enough. But we wanted to introduce some water elements nevertheless. So people already get used to using this part of the city as a beach. So we created some small artificial lake, as we'd like to call it. It's not really a lake, but it's more like a pond like this, but people seems to enjoy it. We have many elements that helps you cool down in summer, because as in Greece, also here on our coast, it can become really hot. We have this artificial cascade stream that children very much love because they use it as a running track because it's down in a circle, so they kind of find their way how to use it. And probably the most popular of them all, this water fountain, as you can imagine, like in every city, this is the joy for every people to enjoy. They give me a couple of notes already, so I know my time is up. I have, I believe, 30 seconds more. So what I have prepared from here on, let's be kept for maybe next time that I visit you in person, hopefully. And so I would leave you with this image. I think it's fresh and happy enough, and I think this is a good conclusion. This will be a good conclusion for it. So thank you all.